Hello folks, this is Solo speaking. You're listening to the preview video for playoff game number 3 of Civ4 AI Survivor Season 7. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map. As said, this is the third and final of our 3 playoff games. After this, we'll be identifying 2 more leaders who will move on to the championship game. And there will only be one more game of AI Survivor after this one in season number 7. All right, here is our map. You know, the colors of the AI leaders in this map are all a bunch of pastels. It looks like we've got an Easter egg hunt going on here. But it's a pretty congested map, so there's not going to be a ton of space for everyone to split out on this one. Okay, so 3 of these leaders won their opening round games, and 3 of these leaders were in second place in their opening round games. We will go ahead and start with Alexander, who was the winner of, I believe, game number 3 from the opening round. Very impressive win there. Got out in front of the rest of the lobby and was able to win a domination victory. So Alex is pretty straightforward. He is a military leader, likes to build units, likes to research military techs, go attack people, and see how that goes. He has had a couple of spectacular successes. He's also had a lot of failures because he does not do a very good job of building an economy. He's going to go fight somebody, and if it goes well, then he's going to snowball across the map, and if it goes poorly, he's not going to do so well. So what you see is what you get. Pretty straightforward for him. All right, moving on over here, our winner of game number 6 from the opening round, Darius of Persia. In contention for having the best economic traits in all of Civ4, with the financial organized combo. He's a little bit slow out of the gate to get started. He doesn't really have anything that will jumpstart an early beginning to the game. But his economic power is pretty impressive if he can get it going, as he did in the opening round game. He had like this really, really nice starting position and just kind of ran away with the game economically from there. So I will say this looks like a pretty juicy starting position over here. Got the wheat, copper, double ivory, a gold tile potentially if he puts his second city over here. So if you want the econ pick in this game, he is probably going to be one of the favorites in that regard. All right, next up we have the winner of the wildcard game, the surprising Saladin, winner of the wildcard game, who he spent most of the game kind of in the middle of the scoreboard and then just emerged in the final turns as the winner by kind of making this late game charge in a very late spaceship victory in the wildcard game. So Saladin's deal is basically religion plus military. There's a number of leaders that have that kind of setup, but he is one of them. Probably not the strongest of that combination, but he is going to start with mysticism. He should likely found a religion, although there's a couple other leaders that start with mysticism. He's going to like people who share his religion, and he's not going to like people who don't share his religion. Pretty straightforward as far as that goes. Does not have great starting techs. Might be off to a little bit of a slow start with this opener here, but he probably will get one of the game's opening religions. Okay, next up, the other 3 leaders are all leaders who finished in second place in their opening round games. And we're going to start with Gandhi, who we haven't seen since the very first game of the season. Yeah, all the way back in game number 1, where he surprisingly finished in second. Gandhi usually either dies or finishes in first, so a second place finish is very unusual for him. Gandhi, one of the most extreme leaders in Civ4. He's the ultra pacifist, doesn't like to train units, doesn't like to fight anybody, doesn't like to go to war, has the highest peace weight in the game, peace weight of 10, so it's going to be very hard for him to get along with people like Jinshi Huang and Pakal and Alexander. They're going to be predisposed to dislike him. But he's really good at pursuing culture. If he gets left alone, he's one of the most likely leaders in the game to win a cultural victory. That said, I don't know if this is the greatest neighborhood for him. But he will also have very good odds to found a religion because he also starts with mysticism tech. All right, next up then, we have the second place winner from, game number 4, I think it was, Jinshi Huang, who was actually the strongest leader in the alternate histories for that game, but finished behind João of Portugal in the actual game we ran. So he's another economic leader, but he doesn't really have great econ traits. He's industrious, protective, which are mediocre to poor economic traits, but he basically tries to play the econ game. He wants to, be a good researcher, likes to build wonders to some extent, and he's largely held back just by the fact that his traits are pretty crummy overall. That said, he does have the Chinese civilization, which is one of the best civs in Civ4. Great starting text, agriculture wheel, and useful, unique stuff in, the Choco Nu, the Pavilion a little bit less strong. So the Chinese leaders feel like they always have a shot just because their civ is really good. He's got one of the central starting positions on this map. And, he might not be one of the favorites to win, but don't overlook the fact that he's often able to slip into second place in some of these games. Finally, last but not least, we have the second place leader from, game number 8 in the form of Pakal. Kind of slipped into second place in that game. Pakal, of course, one of our more popular leaders. He also has the financial trait. Him and Darius are the only two with financial in this game. The financial plus alive combo has won an awful lot of these games. He's a unique leader in the sense that he is a low peace weight leader. I think he's peace weight 2, which are usually very aggressive militaristic leaders, but he's not very aggressive at all. He actually likes to sit back and build and has a relatively high wonder emphasis, doesn't train that many units. So he's often able to dodge aggression from people like the Alexanders of the world. I think a lot is going to depend on where the religions pop up in this game, because our mysticism starters are Saladin, Pakal, and Gandhi. Like, if Pakal can spread his religion around, he's much more likely to make friends and then be able to dodge aggression. But if he can't do that, he's more likely to come under attack, especially if, like, Saladin has a different religion, which is very possible in a game like this. All right, so that is a quick coverage of all of these leaders. As I mentioned, top 2 will move on to the championship game. This will be our 3rd playoff game, and it will be taking place a week from today as this video gets posted. That will be on July 14th of July, 2023. And then the championship game will follow after that. So if you're interested in submitting an entry into the picking contest, people probably already know that by now, but we try to guess who's going to be the winner, who's going to come in last place, all that stuff. There will be a link underneath this video description, and the game will take place on live stream at noon Eastern time on July 14th. So hopefully we will see you there for Civ4 AI Survivor Season number 7, Playoff Game 3. Until then, hope everybody's having a great week. Good luck with your picks, and take care, folks.